She might have judged them, but she had too many secret desires of her own to play the hypocrite. Flashes of skin and untamed kisses sprung forth in her mind's eye, reminders of the dreams she'd had over the past few days, lips and tongues and entwined limbs.
That one, 4th row back, gold vest, I want him.
Lydia spoke her claim and pointed.
You cannot have him.
Katrina replied to Lydia, but her eyes were on Alexandra.
He is Adonis.
As Delacroix would soon reveal, Adonis was one of Aphrodite's many lovers. But here, in this time and place, the subject in question was Alexandra's husband. She craned her neck and found Sebastian. He wore stylish layers, black tailcoat, crisp white shirt, gold damask vest with matching cravat. He was broad of shoulder, distinguished, and completely unaware of what she had planned for him after the finale. Alexandra ducked out of sight, forgetting she wore a mask. Delacroix entered backstage, sporting a crimson vest.
Ladies, where are your silks? I am giving a monologue in 1 minute.
Full of pomp and grandeur, he had the air of a noble and swagger that heated Alexandra's blood. He set his hand at the small of her back, leaned down and kissed the corner of her jaw without regard to onlookers.
You look stunning, sweetling. Are you ready?
I am.
Her gaze dropped to the front of his trousers.
Are you?
I will be.
He winked at her, and as foolish as it was, her heart fluttered.
Find me during the dance. I'll be wounded if you give all your attention to him.
He smacked her rump, then pulled away from her. The single beat of a drum silenced the audience. A shimmering crescendo of cymbals led up to the tick-tick-tick of the metronome.
Gentlemen, ladies, honored guests,
Delacroix held a dramatic pause, then shouted.
welcome to Olympus.
A roar shook the floor beneath Alexandra's slippered feet.
I am Ares, the god of war. My lust for blood is my curse. But my desire to know the touch of a single woman has become my obsession. You know her as Aphrodite, the goddess of love, beauty, and sexual desire. She has but one divine duty, to make love and inspire others to do the same. She is loved by many, but none more than the mortal Adonis.
Alexandra held her position behind the curtain, but pinched her eyes tight to hold her emotions at bay.
I have no fear of this man. I am a god and invisible to his mortal eye. But I must rely on him, for I know not the image of my new obsession. I will follow Adonis to the temple at the summit of Acronath, where it is said Aphrodite has retreated with her priestesses to learn the art of seduction. If you choose to follow us, I bid you fair warning. You will never witness a spectacle more alluring than the one I shall give you tonight.
The cymbals began their climb.
Prepare to be enraptured, titillated, and aroused. Cast aside your blushes and embrace the beauty of desire. For your pleasure, I give you Aphrodite.
The curtains rose, the music erupted, and the dance began. Colored lights, wisps of flowing silk, the unyielding attention of her husband and her lover emboldened her, set her free to seize her passion for life, for love, for them. Lungs burning, feet whirling, Alexandra never missed a single step as she followed the music to a high crescendo in the third act. Roars lifted the ceiling! Just weaving, Alexandra knelt in position at face. She had to drop with a long stretch of applause. legs are trembling.
I'm not.
Are you having trouble up there, Jane?
Oh, my booby traps.
She was not one to boast, but she danced as if she choreographed the steps herself. Bravo! Bravo! She raised her lashes and found Delacroix. She returned his approving smile with one of her own and mouthed.
Thank you.
He nodded once, then his gaze moved across the stage. Her smile fell when she saw Sebastian climbing the stage right steps. The glowing heat inside her shifted to icy anxiety. The audience returned to their seats to await the finale. Music struck up again, seeming to possess a soul of its own. Alexandra trembled to the marrow in her bones as Sebastian circled each woman, searching for Aphrodite. I am here, she cried silently, but remained stone still, staring at the wood grain in the planked floor. Then polished black boots paused in front of her. A strong hand lifted her chin and brought her to her feet. Sebastian's blue eyes were not dull and distant as they'd been during those cold months of separation. Instead, they sparkled like white-hot diamonds. He blinked, breaking the spell, then touched her mouth with the tips of 2 fingers. Her pulse raced. Her heart whispered, "Choose me." When he cradled her head and gently pressed his warm lips to hers, that glowing sun returned to her chest and exploded. She didn't care if it was part of the act. She didn't even care that he thought her another. She had the confidence and the desire to pleasure him like no other woman had before her. And when he discovered the identity of the woman he'd chosen, he would want no other in his bed besides his wife. Delacroix stepped to Alexandra's side, mimicking Sebastian. Delacroix cradled her head and kissed her as well. His kiss, however, was not as gentle. They held her hands, took a step to the side, and presented her to the audience. Another round of cheers thundered throughout the place. When the applause subsided, Sebastian and Delacroix walked a half circle around her, turning her away from the audience. Each pulled the laces of her corset through the eyelets.
Is this really going to happen?